And welcome back to the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast, your go-to weekly dive into all things Cincinnati sports. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers, along with my son, Sam Wolfers, and we're bringing you unfiltered takes, real Reds fans, reactions, and a breakdown of the week that was across the Reds baseball, FC Cincinnati, Bengals news, Bearcats, updates, and so much more. In today's episode, we'll review the highs and lows from the past 2 weeks, take a look at the Reds All-Star selections, discuss the Reds draft strategy, seeing if you agree with that, and break down whether the Bearcats are ready to compete in the Big 12 this year. Plus, we've got our listener trivia challenge, and we're diving into a full Reds first half review. There's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. So stay tuned and see what happens. So let's get right into it with episode 137 of the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. Sam, let's talk a little bit about the good, the bad, the ugly, the recap of the Reds and FC Cincinnati. What do you have as the good for this past couple of weeks?
I mean, I guess the good is that the Reds ended up winning the series against the Rockies. It was looking a little shaky there, which, I mean, the fact they didn't sweep them already is a bit upsetting. But, I mean, you win the series, that's all we can really ask for moving forward, is if you can just keep winning series. Should work out for you in the long run as far as your playoff goals. I mean, they're going to go into the All-Star break winning this series and hopefully, keep the positives rolling afterwards and catch fire, make a move to get an outfield bat, preferably a power bat, maybe a bullpen guy to help out and, get that wild card spot because I don't think they're going to end up getting the division. And then, once you're in, you're in, and anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That is correct. For me, the good, I had, the Spencer Steer starting to traject up a little bit. I think he raised his batting average since the last time we were on air. So it was about 2 weeks ago. Let's see here. Spencer, he had, where's he? I think he's sitting close to in the 250s now, and did not know if he was ever going to get up there. Let's see. Right now, batting 251 on the year with 11 homers. And last week, he was the player of the week. Last 7 games, he had, he was 5 for 23, but he didn't do very well. 217, but the week before, batted 290, 294, and had 5 home runs. So he's looking up a little bit. And then, of course, I had, Ellie All-Star selection, and then Andrew Abbott,
Yeah.
which, he came because of whoever pitched today couldn't pitch, so they named him a replacement there. I thought he should have been
off from the get-go.
Should have been off, from the get-go. You look at who they added, the Milwaukee kid.
No, it's a complete joke.
5
starts.
5 starts, and he's an all-star? No.
Insane.
No.
Ridiculous.
Right. It's almost as bad as Paul Skeens starting the All-Star game last year as a rookie.
Yeah.
Almost. But he was the real deal. And he still is the real deal. This kid got lit up,
Right.
one of his starts.
Cool. He throws a 96-mile-per-hour slider. Great. Skeens came up and he had an ERA in the ones last year.
You're right.
This Milwaukee guy, his first 3 starts were pretty good, but now his ERA is up close to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, that tells you his last 2 starts have not been all-star worthy. It's just after 5 starts. That's ridiculous to me. The guy for Philly, I can't think of his name right now. Sanchez, I think.
Sanchez.
Or was it Suarez? I think it was Sanchez.
Yeah.
Philly, they ended up giving him his all-star bonus. They said, you deserved it. We're going to give it to you. We're going to honor it. It was part of your contract. We felt you deserved it. Castellini, take notes. That's how you run a franchise. Okay? Your guy gets hosed, and you have his back. All right? And that, let me clarify, not just Castellini. Every single owner in professional sports. Your guy gets hosed by the league, have his back. Especially when his all-star bonus is $80,000. Come on, that's one game gate revenue. So that's nothing. You got to honor that for those guys. But yeah, I mean, the All-Star game's been a joke for 20 years now. It's tough to watch. So, I mean, can't really expect much more out of Major League Baseball. Rob Manfred doesn't have good ideas. So it is what it is, I guess.
Sorry about that. Yes, I agree with that. All right, so let's look at the bad from the past 2 weeks. What do you think was bad?
Reds-wise or
just
overall?
The whole Cincinnati,
so,
all
I mean,
Cincinnati scene.
FCC losing hell is real. It was bad. Lost 4-2.
That as the ugly.
I mean, yeah, well, okay, yeah, you could say ugly. I wasn't going to go that far just because Columbus is a good team. I know it's a rivalry game and all of that, but Columbus is still a really good club. So I won't say it's ugly just because you lost.
Well,
it sucks because you scored so quickly, you know. And
but here's why I said it was ugly. I mean, I know we're jumping ahead, but it's because you're up 2-0, you're playing at home, and you lost to them this way last year when they kicked you out of the playoffs. Yeah. So once again, a Cincinnati team has its demons, whether it's the Steelers, whether it's the Cardinals. You have to get over that hump, and you're up 2-0 at home in the first 56 minutes, and you can't close the door. 4 unearned goals in soccer is like,
yeah, that's
horrible.
Especially
that's ugly.
In the second half.
Yeah. So that's why I put it in the ugly category.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you there.
And then, so my bad, I had a couple. I had, the Marlins split series, even though you look at the Marlins record and,
they've been hot.
When they were playing the Reds were as close to the wild card as the Marlins were to the Reds, right? 3.5 back. Now the Marlins have lost a few in a row, and they're like 7 out of the wild card position. So that split series hurt, because we had high hopes coming in, taking 3 or 4 from the Marlins and sweeping the Rockies, and maybe being half a game out to game out of the wild card position. But we're 2.5, and we had to scrap and fight for that victory yesterday. And the Rockies, a couple of errors, one error, bases or the contact play with Will Benson on it. Third, second baseman just let it eat him up. And then today, where the go-ahead run, ground ball to short, and he just nonchalant just missed it. I mean, the ball came up on him, and he just missed it. But to me, that was a bad, the split series of the Marlins. The Hunter Green not being able to make his rehab start was a bad sign, because he felt tightness in the same spot, and it's like, okay, is this ever going to heal? And then for the Bengals, it's just like no contract news, and training camp is just right around the corner, and it's like
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and it's like, and I haven't heard squat from the number 1 draft pick. I haven't heard anything about that they're trying to work it out, or, I mean, of all the sites that I've been on, I haven't seen anything. I've heard, a couple of sites, I guess it was Friday, saying that they don't expect the Bengals and Trey to reach a contract extension by the start of training camp. Because, I mean, Trey's looking still for, north of 30 mil. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then my uglies, like I said, the FC Cincinnati probably topped it off, but then also just losing one game to the Rockies and having to fight. The Rockies only won 22 games, and one of them was against the Reds. Now, I can put that in the bad category since we did take 2 of 3, but the expectations were, coming in, hey, we need to sweep them. Another good, Terry Francona getting his 2000s. Yep. So congrats to Tito. Let's hopefully you can get a few more added on to that here in Cincinnati. All right. So that was the good and bad and the ugly of this past week. So let's talk a little bit about the All-Star game and selection. I know Andrew Abbott and Ellie De La Cruz are the Reds representatives. Your thoughts on that? And are you going to watch the game at all? I mean, are you going to watch any of the festivities or not?
Probably not. I think the home run derby's tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. I might watch that, but I'm working Tuesday night, so I won't be watching the
Okay.
All-Star game. Probably wouldn't have watched it anyways. We'll watch some highlights of, Ellie's at bat, and if Abbott pitched an inning, watch that. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the All-Star game anymore. It means nothing. Half the dudes selected don't end up playing, or they opt out. I mean, you get guys with 5 career big league starts to their name, 15 innings or whatever he's got. I mean, complete joke. So, and you got Clayton Kershaw who's made 1 start this year. Yeah, I get it's a legacy type thing, but we don't have to do that. And like, why?
Yeah.
Well, I know why. It's because he's a Dodger. If he was a
Well,
career Royal, would they be doing this? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. It's because he's a Dodger. All right, same reason why Shohei's plastered everywhere. It's because he's a Dodger.
Joey Votto didn't make it as a legacy, did he?
Right, exactly. It's because Rob Manfred's an idiot. That's all there is to it.
Well, and then Kershaw just got his 3,000th strikeout too, so that's
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's been pitching for 20 years. He should have 3,000.
Yeah, well, he should. You're right there. But All-Star, baseball has lost its, I guess, romantic feeling. It is trying to keep up with the NFL, right? I mean, the NFL is now the machine of everybody. Can't wait till the NFL gets here because of all the propaganda that goes 365, 24/7. Baseball used to be just that. You romanticize about baseball, you love it. And the All-Star game, the baseball All-Star game was the one constant of, hey, we don't like the American League or we don't like the National League. We want to beat you and blah, 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 blah. That all started to shift when interleague play started to happen. And now that there's really
everybody plays everybody.
Everybody plays everybody. And it's not,
exactly.
So it's not that big of a deal. It's almost going to go away like the NBA All-Star game and the NFL Pro Bowl game, right? I mean, Pro Bowl game's a joke. And the All-Star game for the NBA, it's like, why even have it? I mean, it's stupid. And baseball at one time was just pure, and it was like, and now, interleague play, and then the tie with Bud Selig, saying a tie, it just ruined.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that's an All-Star game. Like,
yeah,
I get why people get upset about it, but also like that's the one you can't tax pitchers in an All-Star game.
No, you can't.
Basketball, if you go to overtime, oh well, it's 5 more minutes of nobody actually trying it.
Well, but here's the thing too. It's like back in the day, I mean, of my generation, growing up in the 70s and 80s and watching baseball and the All-Star game, your starters didn't come out after the first inning. It was like they stayed 2, maybe 3 innings, just depending. And then they brought in other starters, and they went 2 innings. So you always had people that didn't get in the game. There are times where there's always been one pitcher being held back or one player being held back just in case. And, and the manager let them know before, the game saying, hey, we're going to hold you back and blah, 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 blah. But I could remember games where Rose, Bench, Morgan, Concepcion were in it past the 5th inning. And it's like, and you don't get that anymore. And I don't know. It's sad because I remember you watching we always would watch the All-Star game together with our cheese and crackers and stuff.
Yeah.
And, and that, you love the baseball. And maybe it's the same for kids today. They just love it. But the game itself has changed, at least for me, that I probably won't watch it either. That's just an old man rant.
To me, it really is you play everybody, because I remember growing up watching it. It was seeing the guys in the American League, against. I mean, granted, when I was growing up, the Reds usually only had 1, maybe 2 All-Stars, so it's not like we were seeing them really play. But it was still fun to see those guys, because I mean, when we lived in Kokomo, we got like the Reds home games and then some WGN Cubs games. So I mean, we never saw the American League unless it was Yankees Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball. So I mean, watching the All-Star game then was fun, but now I mean, you play everybody. So like we're going to see, we saw Judge, when we played the Yankees, we're going to see all these guys. So the All-Star game, it's not the draw that it was. I don't know. I don't necessarily think there's a fix for it unless they went, USA World type thing and got away from the, but you have the World Baseball Classic for that. So you don't really need it.
No, you don't. You don't. The one thing I do appreciate now is like they are bringing back that each player is wearing their
team's jersey.
Jersey instead of the
ugly uniforms.
Right. So that's a good thing. All right, let's move on. Netflix, the quarterback, a lot of talk on social media about, the series 2. Joe Burrow obviously is in that one. I think Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins is as well. I haven't watched any of it. I don't know if you have. I've seen clips, and from, the time where Zach, after the Minnesota, or not the Minnesota game, it was the Tennessee game where we had like 8 offsides and Burrow was just pissed on the sideline. And that was pretty cool to see that interaction and how pissed off he really was. And to see Zach Taylor trying to make it okay, instead of saying, you know what, you are right, we'll take care of it Monday
he said
or Tuesday.
Exactly what we thought he said.
You're right.
Like, I remember us talking about it. And because we saw how animated Joe was, and we were like, I bet Zach was trying to play it off, and we'll watch film and address it later. And that's exactly what he did, because that's who he is. He doesn't have that fire, which maybe that's a good thing that he's always even keeled. I don't know, but it'd be nice to see him, go off on the offensive line every now and then.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to see that.
Or, your third string tight end when he false starts 2 plays in a row and then fumbles going into the end zone in week 1. It'd be nice to chew him out a little bit.
Chew him out, or, or say, guess what, you're on the waiver wire. Go to
the locker room right now.
Yeah,
Not even wait until tomorrow. Just go hit the showers now.
See ya. Get out of here.
CJ Wilcox or whoever it was. Whoever their 8th tight end was last year.
All righty. Let's move on. UC had their media day, the Big 12 media day. Satterfield, his comments were, this is probably his best team that he's had in 3 years. So my question to you, son, is, are the Bearcats poised to become Big 12 contenders this year?
Probably not, no. I have no faith in Scott Satterfield. I don't think that's lost on anybody out there listening. I'm open to him proving me wrong, but he hasn't yet. They were 5-2 at one point last year. And then they finished 5-7, or did they get 6-6?
No,
they finished 5-7.
5-7.
Right. So, that's 5 straight losses in the Big 12. Big 12's not great. They didn't play really a tough Big 12 schedule last year. I haven't really looked at it too much this year. I don't know who they have on their schedule, but it's not going to be anybody. There's no juggernauts out there. Their toughest game, honestly, would probably be Nebraska week 1.
Mm-hmm.
That'll, for me, that's going to end up being how the season goes. If they look good, play well, look improved, even if they lose, I'll be a little optimistic. But if they come out and just get housed by Nebraska, I'd leave Scott Satterfield at Arrowhead or wherever this is. Is this game in Lucas Oil? I don't remember. It's at. I'd leave him at Arrowhead and be like, you can go coach Missouri State next year or something, because you're done. Yeah, I don't buy anything he says, because his word has meant nothing so far since he's been here. He knows he's on the hot seat, so he's got to say that. He can't come in and be like, "Oh, actually, this is the worst team I've had since I've been here."
No, I think it's probably is his best team, as far as you got an experienced quarterback back, second year in the system. You have a couple of transfer wide receivers. Your offensive line is.
The defense should be pretty good. I think the defense is going to be pretty good.
Defense, you got your tight end who, could
Royer
be drafted.
Came back.
Yeah. So Royer and, the Godfather, he should be healthy and ready to go. So that's going to help. The running game, Kiner's gone. Somebody's got to step up. But we'll talk more about that in a couple of weeks when we do our, Big 12 and the college football preview.
So at the media day, did you see how all the teams had the number 25 on their jerseys because it's 2025, and then Oklahoma State had like number 52 or something. Like they had it backwards.
They probably did that on purpose. They probably did that on purpose.
Or,
it would not surprise me if Mike Gundy did something like that. All right.
Yeah.
So the last thing for the week that was, and it's happening as we speak, is the MLB Draft. And to give you an update on the first round, the Reds drafted high school shortstop from Alabama, Steele Hall. We'll get our thoughts on that. You'll get our thoughts on that here in a minute. But, the pundits, they had CBS, ESPN, and MLB. They all had somebody different. CBS nailed it, CBS, ESPN nailed it, said Steele Hall would be there, but CBS wanted, or they said Seth Hernandez, and then MLB had Irish, from Auburn, the outfield / catcher. So my thoughts on a shortstop, again, high school shortstop at that. My thought is this. I know the Reds go with the best player available philosophy. It doesn't matter if they are college, high school, pitcher, position player. They're going to go who they have as the best player available at that time. And apparently this is the kid who they thought was the best player available. I don't know. Thoughts real quick before I get into more things.
I'm reading up on him here a little bit. It looks like he just he reclassified before this season. So he's still only 17. He doesn't turn 18 until later this month. So he's going to be very young, very raw prospect. It looks like they've got him 80 grade speed. They say he's good defensively. He should stick at shortstop, average power. So, that's typical for a high school shortstop. You don't, outside of A-Rod, you don't see high school shortstops with plus power. And I've said this before, but it doesn't hurt to just load up on shortstops. Because, you look at, the Reds infield, their starting infield, Marte, De La Cruz, McLean, all signed or drafted as shortstops. That's pretty common. That's kind of the model that the Reds like. That's the model that I like. You draft a shortstop, and you figure it out from there. So I'm not opposed to the shortstop. He's, like I said, he's 17 right now, so he's 4 or 5 years away from being big league ready, so that you don't have to worry about any log jam with the other shortstop prospects and stuff like that. I don't know too much about this kid though, other than just what I'm reading right now.
Right, and I don't think I haven't really followed who was coming out, who wasn't, like in years past, but
yeah.
So here's my take on it. I hope he pans out, but we're not going to see him for 5-6 years, right? Probably, because that would put him at 5 years, put him at 22, 23. So, my thought is you've got Ellie De La Cruz for 3 more years after this year, right? 4. So you can't waste these 4 years. If you have a number 1 pick who could possibly fast track and help this team, like an outfield bat, somebody like that, you've got to do that. You have to, if you want to win now, if you are serious about winning now. And, the Reds throw out this, I don't know, they throw out the noodles and see if it stick on the wall type of thing. They get you excited about, bringing up these prospects, and then all of a sudden, they tank, and then they're not doing anything. And then you get into the win now mode, and you cut bait with Candelario, and you're like, hey, they're in a win now situation. But then they make some silly other moves, and you're like going, what are they doing? I don't think they have a strategy that they believe in yet. And I know they want to try to be like the Moneyball, Billy Beane, Oakland A's style, but what Billy Beane was really good at was he got rid of players to bring up the prospects, or he shipped prospects for a younger player who was going to blossom, in the major leagues with the A's. Nick Krall doesn't do that. We hoard the prospects. And if you're going to draft all these shortstops, when are they going to play a different position? Okay,
Yeah,
McLean,
that's the thing.
McLean is playing second now. Okay, Marte's playing third, but now the talk is he might be better off as our left fielder or right fielder, just because his defense at third base is very questionable at times because he's having a hard time throwing the ball over to first. Arroyo, where's Arroyo going to play? If he's even going to make it. So, we'll talk into, this here in a little bit when we get into the mid-season grades and all that stuff of the Reds. But, my question is,
that you're right. That is the thing. You have these shortstops with the idea that they're the best athlete on the field, so you can move them. You got to give them a little taste.
Right.
Arroyo should be playing some second and some third, in wherever he's at right now, Double A or Triple A, wherever. Sammy Stafura, who's in Dayton right now, he should be playing some second, some third, maybe some center.
Well, Sal Stewart's playing second and third, and he may get the call up. I don't know. And if
he keeps hitting the way he is,
yeah. Here's the thing.
Definitely.
It's like this. The Reds are always. I always think they're like a day late and dollar short. They have these ideas of best athletes, but yet Marte's not working out at third. He's never played outfield. So it's going to be another Jose Barrero on the fly. You're going to go out there because Sal Stewart's coming up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
the bat suffers from it too because they're in their head trying to figure out the defense.
Right. And it's just...
Yeah. No, it definitely is tough.
Yeah, it is. When you don't know when you're going to play.
But you look across the league, everybody drafts shortstops. I just looked through. It's like all the first round picks are either pitchers or shortstops, and then the one catcher outfield guy. That's the move. You draft shortstops.
You do, and I don't
shortstop,
and I don't disagree with that. But you've got to, if they think he's going to be the shortstop when Ellie leaves, fine. Then you need to move Arroyo now, and you need to move whoever. You got to get him. You got to, you can't wait till they get to the major league level.
You can't move them in spring training before their first MLB season. No, you're completely right. They need to at least get, say they play 120
somewhere
minor league games. Right. Yep. You could still have them play short too, just, injuries or whatever else may happen. It's always, Ellie needs days off too. You got to have somebody to be a backup shortstop.
Right.
And shoot, we've heard, there's rumblings and stuff from Reds fans to put Ellie in center or right field too. Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to do that.
No,
but
they won't do that.
That's still on the table.
Unless Ellie decides he wants to.
Maybe it's at the kiddie table. Yeah, it might be at the kiddie table, not on the main table. But
only if Ellie decides he wants to do that, because I don't think the Reds are going to jeopardize their chances of extending him. If he does not want to go in the outfield and they say, no, you're going out in the outfield, that will, Scott Boras will use that to his advantage, and Ellie will never be a Red. There's a slim chance he's going to be a Red after his time is up.
Anyways, yeah.
You're right. But make him happy. He might love the place, and he might say, hey, you know what? I want to sign here. We'll see. All right, we're going to move on to our trivia segment. So if you want to play along, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can email us here at Cincy Sports Scene. So it's CSSpodcast@gmail.com with your answer. Or you can DM or I on Instagram or Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene. So last week's question, or 2 weeks ago's question, was Charlie was back with it. He's not here, obviously, so can't remember if I got it right or not, but you can always check it out on YouTube, that question. And we put it out there all the time, and this one will be out as well. Speaking of Elly De La Cruz and the Rockies intentionally walked Elly De La Cruz 3 times on Friday night. In the Reds' history, since the intentional walk has been tracked from 1955, there's only been 2 other Reds to been intentionally walked 3 times. Can you name those 2 additional Reds?
In one game, I'm assuming?
In one game, yes.
Well, start with the stars, I guess. Johnny Bench.
Nope.
No? All right. What about Frank Robinson? Is he
Nope.
still around with the intentional walk? Okay.
Yeah, he was, but nope.
What about Adam Dunn?
Nope. I'm surprised you didn't see it because it was all
No,
over.
I didn't. I
It
didn't
was
see
all. I
any. I
mean,
didn't
both
see anything.
broadcast on Saturday and today's. It was all over. So
Yeah.
it
No,
should be an easy one, but if you did not pay
I was
attention,
working today, so I didn't see it, and I didn't watch the game yesterday. So
okay. Well,
yeah,
there,
this
good.
stumped me. I guess. Okay. Kind of give me a time frame for one of the guys, era
All right.
wise.
So you grew up watching one of the guys.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say growing up. I mean, he was a Red in the last 10 years. Put it that way.
Last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Votto?
Nope. Believe
Jay
it or not.
Bruce?
No.
No.
He just retired, I believe.
Just retired.
Yeah, like within like 2 weeks.
Just retired. Mike Ford? No. Just retired? About Todd Frazier. I feel like he retired a couple years ago.
Yeah, but nope.
Intentionally.
You got to think
random.
Yeah, you got to. So it happened. Let's see, 2015. I think it happened.
Red in 2015.
Yeah. So you got to think.
Wow, I mean that was awful team.
It's either 14 or 15. I can't remember the exact date, but it was one of those 2 years.
Mesoraco?
No.
No, not Votto. Who would have been second? Phillips still would have been second baseman then.
Yeah, but no.
Cozart would have been the shortstop. It wouldn't have been him. Third base was Frazier. You said no. No way it was Billy Hamilton.
No.
You said no to Jay Bruce. Who was it? Who's the left fielder? I got no idea.
Hold that.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have to hold this one.
We'll hold that one for next week, and we'll share. If you think you know the answer, which if you've watched any of the games or listened to the broadcast, you probably have heard at least the guy that Sam was trying to get. But there was another one that they did show that they talked about it on Saturday. So if you think you know those two answers, go ahead and leave it in the comment section here on this video, or you can send it to us on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene, or email us at csspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll give you a good old shout out. You may even get to join the show. So fingers crossed. Here we go. We're going to move on to the topic of the week. And as we said at the beginning of the show, we're going to break down the Reds' first half review, first half season here. And we're going to tell our positives. We're going to tell our negatives. And then we're going to say, what are we watching for the second half? And then the trade deadline's coming up. Are we going to be buyers or sellers? And what are we going to do? Who are we targeting? Who are we going to give up for that? And then the final thing we'll talk about, if they don't make the playoffs, what needs to happen next year, or what needs to happen throughout the organization. So let's talk about positives, right? Because this is a positive show, upbeat show. We got rid of Crawley because he's so negative. No, we did not. He just had other things on his plate here. So I love you, Crawley. Positives here for the Reds. First half of the season finished, what do you want to call it? Finished 50-47. 2.5 back of the wild card, and 7 back of first place. Positives. What positives do you have for the first half, son?
My positives, starting pitching has been a good positive outside of a couple, random starts from guys. But Abbott's been, unbelievable. He's shown, the faith that I've had in him. I remember a couple years ago, people should Abbott, even make the roster? Should he start in AAA? He's been our best pitcher from, start of the season until now. Hunter Green's looked really good when he's been healthy. Lodolo's not looked bad, and he's stayed relatively healthy too, which is, a positive. Nick Martinez has really been kind of the one spot. Singer's been okay, but I mean, we kind of figured between those two guys that as long as they weren't bad, we would be okay. And I mean, our starting pitching is the reason why we have 50 wins, and honestly, we should have more with how good,
they
the
pitched
rotation
early on, yeah. Especially. Yeah. I will agree with that positive, right? I think the Lodolo's health made every start so far this year. That's a good thing. Ellie's continual improvement, higher walk rate, lower, even though he has a lot of strikeouts, still lower strikeout rate than it was last year and the year before. So he's improving there. Not getting as many stolen bases, but the whole Reds team's not running as much as they did last year. And
I think that's a Francona thing.
That is a Francona thing. So, we'll, pick and choose your things and see. We do have above 500 record. We are 28-22 at home. It's always nice to have a winning record at home. 2.5 back of the wild card. I think Pagan has been a pleasant surprise in the back end of the bullpen. It was like,
he's been healthy, so that's
he's been healthy. 20 saves now, tied his career record. And then obviously Chase Burns coming up. It gives us a little shot of adrenaline. So those have been positives, right? I mean, I liked how he bounced back, against the Rockies. Even though he gave up that home run, he was in the strike zone, and he limited it to 3 runs or 2 runs, and the Reds should have won that game. But negatives on the season.
Power. I mean, we're just not hitting home runs. I mean, it's Great American Small Park, for crying out loud, and we should be top 5 in the National League every single year in home runs, just from the park that we play in. That should be how the team is built. I mean, we're not built that way, so I can't really fault the guys we have because they're not. I mean, we don't have one guy that I would say is a home run hit. We've got a couple guys that have some pop, and then we've got guys, like CES and Reese Hines, who are 4A players who just can't stick in the big leagues, because they're trying to be home run guys, but they're not good enough at it to stick. That's been my biggest disappointment. And then, that just kind of envelopes in the offense as a whole. We're just not scoring enough runs in part because we're not hitting enough home runs, especially if you're not going to steal and manufacture the runs that they did last year. I mean, you kind of got to hit some homers.
You do.
You just do. It's too tough against these guys, these pitchers now to get 3-4 hits in a row. So you get a base hit. If you're not going to steal, ground ball to the right side, sack fly them, you got to put them in the seats. And they just don't do that enough.
Yeah, you're right there. And, the power out, the Reds were built for Great America Ballpark back when it opened, right? You had Junior, Dunn.
Yeah, you did.
And
they led the league in homers several years. It was the pitching that sucked.
They never finished, so the pitching did, and that was the thing. So they did that. So we got to go away from that, try to get a combination of both. And, if you could get 5 guys to hit 20 bombs, I'd be real happy with that. That's,
They had this, this is probably 10, 11, 12 years ago. Like when they were bad, they had like 8 or 9 guys one season hit 20 homers.
Mm-hmm.
You remember? I can't remember what year that was.
Yeah.
It might have been a little more recently than 10 years ago, but they had like all 9 of their regular starters hit 20 homers, but the pitching sucked.
Right.
And now we've got the inverse. Do we have anybody right now at 20? I don't think so.
Ellie has 18.
Is he up to 18?
18 or 19, something like that. Yeah.
But we'll be lucky if we get 3 guys this year that hit 20 homers, probably.
Probably.
That's the ballpark.
That's not good in our ballpark.
That's not good enough. It's just not.
It's not.
Now, it's one thing if you've got a bunch of 300 hitters, but they don't have 300 hitters either.
Exactly. If you're playing first and third all the time, that's something. But
right.
But you're not. All right. Any other negatives on your side before I go?
I don't want to call it a negative because we're not getting thrown out on the bases as much, making stupid decisions, but we're not aggressive either.
Mm-hmm.
And that ties into our lack of power too. We're not manufacturing the runs.
Right.
But we're not getting thrown out at third base anymore. We don't have guys forgetting how many outs there are outside of, early in the season we had a couple of those. So, it's a more disciplined ball club. So I guess you take that. So it kind of washes out, I guess. So I don't want to say it's a bad or a negative, but I wish they would be a little bit more aggressive because they've got some good team speed. They've got some guys that have some good speed. So,
but they've got to get on base, right?
Well, that's part of the problem.
That's part of the problem. They're not getting on base consistently enough.
But I mean, Friedel's a guy that should be stealing 25, 30 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I don't even think he's got 10 this year. He doesn't have a whole lot.
No, I don't know. I think he got one today, I think. But,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
couple of
outside of Ellie, yeah, some other guys, they just got to get on base to utilize their speed.
Right.
You're right.
So, my big thing is there's two. It's not beating, for some reason we just cannot beat up on bad teams, right? I mean, it seems that way, like the Marlins. I mean, no, the Reds had a better record than them. We were better than them, and we had to fight and claw to split a series with them after being down 0-2 at home. That should not have happened. And then, the Rockies. Yes, I mean, if we don't score 2 in the bottom of the ninth, we lose the series 2-1, or we get swept because we're deflated and we go into the All-Star break deflated, and who knows what happens when we come out. Now we're on a 2-game winning streak, so we're trying to do a positive spin here. But then the other thing, and this has been I don't know, ever since I can probably last 10 years since the last time they made not counting the 2020 season, but 20 whatever it was,
2012
when
they
2012
lost the Giants.
It's been, our record versus the Central Division has been horrible. I know we swept the Pirates earlier this year, the first time in a long time that we swept the Pirates, but then we go and lose, a series to them later in May. It's just like, and the Brewers and the Cubs right now, and the Cardinals always have our numbers, and the Cubs, there are times where we're decent against them, and there are other times where we are bad against them, and that has to change this second half. I think we got 28 games against the Central and remaining. I'm coming out of the break, and the last 2 weeks of the series is nothing but opponents, the Central Division opponents. So we can't wait until then to try to make a run. We have to.
Because I mean, those teams will probably be in the wild card chase too.
Right.
I mean, there's 4 teams right now on the Central that are over
above
500.
50 wins. Yeah.
So I mean, outside of the Pirates, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say, I want to mention Ellie specifically for the good, just because I pulled up the stats here. I mean, he leads us in like every single stat. It's
right.
I mean, it's not even close at some of them. Like home runs, he's at 18, steers the next highest at 11.
Mm-hmm.
RBIs, he's at 63, steers the next highest at 39. Stolen bases, he's got 25. McLean's got 11. I mean, he's our offense right now.
He is our offense.
He's up to 284 with a 360 on base.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
that's what I said. He's improved every year, and that's you're seeing dollar signs going up and up and up and up and up. All right, so those are some of the negatives.
500 million real quick.
Right. So what are we watching for in the second half of the season? What do we want to see out of this ball club?
Or who do you want to see? Hunter Green come back healthy and stay healthy for the rest of the season. I mean, if he doesn't come back till August, fine. But when he comes back, I need him to come back healthy. And I hate that I'm about to say this because I murder Nick Krall every time he says it, but almost be a trade deadline acquisition. I hate that I just said it, but I mean, he does. He needs to have that impact. He needs to be the ace again as soon as he comes back. Nobody play this for Nick Krall. Please, nobody do that. We don't want him to do that. We still want additions to this team at the deadline. But I mean, Hunter Green's got to come back and make the impact. If he doesn't, we're not going to make the playoffs. It's as simple as that. And then offensively, McLean started to get going. You mentioned it. Steers started to get going. They've got to keep that up. And then Ellie's got to stay where he's at. I mean, if those 3 guys can get back to where they were, McLean and Steer 2 years ago in 2023 and Ellie now, I mean, that's a pretty good, 2-3-4 in your lineup, or 2-3-5 if that's where they're hitting Steer. So I mean, that's not bad. So if they can, get hot, stay hot, I mean, I like the chances.
Yeah, it comes down for me what I'm going to be watching. There's a couple of things. One is, on the field play, obviously, how we do against the Central. I mean, we have to, if we ever want to be in the talk to winning the division, I mean, obviously we have to play well against our Central opponents. If we're just happy to be in the conversation at the All-Star break of, hey, we're only 2.5 games out of the wild card spot. Woohoo! Instead of saying, hey, we're up 7 games on the next team in the division, even though I know the Cubs are only up a game against the Brewers, because the Brewers have rattled off 8 wins in a row, which, the Reds need to go on another one of those 8-win, 9 games.
Just a nice 7-8 win
right out
streak.
of the break. That would just
and not
propel
follow it up by losing 5 straight immediately.
Exactly. And then, I heard this from Zach Cozart the other day, I guess when they lost to the Marlins. And it was like, we had like a couple of bad errors. I don't know if it was a throwing error and then a botched error. I can't remember what it was. But, he was like, the problem with this Reds team is they don't have anybody in that clubhouse who's a vocal leader. He's saying,
right.
No, we are tired of this. Sort of like what you said about Zach Taylor wanting to get on the offensive linemen. Joe Burrow will get on people. I mean, he doesn't like to yell at people. That's what he said in that's one of the clips I saw. He doesn't like to yell at people. He gets frustrated and things like that. But who's going to be that vocal leader, that Scott Rowland, who says, no, that's not acceptable. We need you on third base, Brucey. You can't just stop it at second. We want you on third. That's how you play winning baseball. Who's going to be that leader? And, the problem is
they don't have veterans really to begin with.
Yeah, Austin Hayes,
which is fine, but he's not a winner. Like, right. We
Gavin
need somebody
Lux
who's done a little bit of winning. Yeah.
He's won with the Dodgers, right?
But the thing with Ben Lux, is he good enough to be a leader?
That's the thing.
Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer, so he could come in and have that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, look, I won championships with St. Louis. I'm a Hall of Fame player. Jay Bruce, yeah, you got to be on third.
Right.
I'm 36. I'm on third.
Yeah.
Like, why are you not? Right. So, I mean, in 2023, you had Votto, who I think helped a lot of the guys. Yeah. He's not the same way.
Right, not in the same way.
But he helped a lot of guys.
He did. He talked to
them. I don't even think they have anybody that can really help right now.
Right, that's the thing. It's like,
I just don't think that they do.
Nick Martinez for the pitchers.
Sure.
But
okay. But that's another guy. Is he good enough to do that? Like he's been around for a while. He's older.
Right.
But I mean, he didn't start his big league career till he was 30. So like, it's like, okay, but if you're Hunter Green or if you're Chase Burns, you're like, okay, dude, didn't even make the show till he's 30.
Like Frankie Montoya last year.
Montas, yeah, you had
Montas last year.
Yeah,
Montas. He Hunter Green said he really looked up to him, and we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked all the time. We'll see. We'll see. And then bullpen question. It's like, okay, are they going to hold up? Because it's like, I mean, what's his name? 46 games already. Tony
Santillan.
Yeah, Santillan was 46 games. This was 46th game. Wow. If you do that again, you're looking at 70 Pedro Barbone type of.
That's 80 games.
That's 80 games. Yeah, I mean it's 92 if you go 46 and 46, but there's only
right. But we're a little past the halfway point.
We're 15 games past the halfway point. So there's like 67 games left in the season. Yeah, I believe so. All right, with that, buy or sell? What are we doing?
They have to buy. I mean, we've been saying this now at the deadline for.
Who you buying? I'm just going to throw out who you buying. Who are you buying? Your crawl. Castellini says, all right, make a deal that doesn't kill us. And
that
doesn't kill us.
What's Castellini's version? A rental or dollars? Or both?
It doesn't kill us. Because, I mean,
you could probably find a guy that's got one, just this year left. You'd only have to pay him $10 million, but like that's a lot for half a season. So does that kill us, or are they going to go the Tampa Bay Rays route where you try and get somebody that's still got a couple years of control, and at that point, I mean,
or do you get somebody on a last year deal and you say, yeah, we'll bring you in, but we want to sign you if he performs and et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I was on Luis Robert from Chicago. He's not really had a good year, so I don't think that would be the smart play
unless for what they want for him.
Right. They want a lot, and
Yeah.
he's not been producing. I mean, you could, make an argument as he's in Chicago, how much does he care? But
Right.
I don't want that guy on my team then if there's already questions about that. I mean, we've mentioned his name a couple times, Brent Rooker out at
Oakland.
Wherever they're playing now.
Yeah. The Athletics.
I think that price would be, they don't even go by a city. They just go by another genius idea by Rob Manfred. But I don't know. The asking price on that would probably be way too high, which I'm not opposed to. We've got a stable of shortstops. We've got good arms that we can part with, especially because the arms we have up are under control for the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
So if all these guys are hitting, the guys below are going to be blocked. I think now's the year you do it. I'd go for Brent Rooker. I really would. Edwin Arroyo. I mean, you probably have to throw in Chase Burns or not Burns. I wouldn't do Burns. Chase Petty. Excuse me.
Petty or Rhett Lauder, one of the two, probably.
You probably have to. Would you give up both?
No, I would not give up both.
Throw both in. Okay. So one of the two. Let the A's pick. Would you let the A's pick? Would you let the A's pick between those two?
If they're willing to make that trade, probably. I'd probably say,
so you go say Edwin Arroyo, whichever of those two, and there's probably got to be something else.
And then it'll probably be either Cam Collier or Sal Stewart.
Okay, I would say Cam Collier. I would try and hang on.
And I would even throw in, at this point, CES.
Like Brees Hines or CES, someone that's a borderline, one of the 4
guys. Well, because here's the thing with the A's, right? They're looking for, when they move into their new stadium,
if that ever exists,
whoever they get for Rooker needs to be in that lineup.
Team. Yeah. So I mean, Hines or CES, Lauder or Petty, Arroyo, Collier.
Yep.
Does that get that done?
It might.
Did you see the article Jeff Passan had for his targets?
Was it?
So he had
Braxton.
He had Stephen Kwan from Cleveland.
Yeah. Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Which he's a great ball player.
On base machine.
We don't need him. That's not the type. We need someone with some pop.
We do.
We don't. We've got enough TJ Friedels. He's a better player than TJ Friedel, but that's the similar type of player.
Right.
So what? You're going to have both of them go 1-2?
Nah. Friedel would be your fourth outfielder.
Yeah.
He would be. Or do you, you look at the club now. Obviously you don't want to trade any Bastyr or a Will Benson off this team right now. But could you? To get a Rooker,
you
would
could.
you? I think I'd
if for a Rooker, yeah, definitely. Because you already know Will Benson, Jake Fraley, whatever outfielder you want to throw in there, they're not. Rooker's a 40 homer guy.
Right. Yeah.
Like you saw what he did at GABP last year, for crying out. He hit 30 of those 40 homers just in that series, it seemed like. So I'd trade. I'd trade Steer for him. Put Steer. Maybe you take a prospect out of there if that's the case. Yeah, I'd go all in for Brent Rooker. I really would.
Yeah, I think I would too.
I really like him. He can play either corner outfield spot.
Yep.
He's got the pop.
He's
a righty too, so
he would fit right in it. Yeah.
Put him in the either 3 or 4, depending on how you want to shake out the lineup, and he'd just eat. He really would. And
the other one, and we played them today, was McMahon, the third baseman.
Yeah.
He
costs less than Rooker would.
Yep.
And he's got some pop too.
And he's got some pop. He's left-handed though. We don't have that right. But but if you're willing to move Marte to a corner outfield, then you can maybe, I would give up Petty, CES, and, one of Arroyo or Collier.
Yeah.
I would not give up.
The only you gotta make a move.
There's no really untouchables. As far as the prospects go.
Oh, the only one, if you consider Burns still a prospect.
Nah, he's in the rotation. He's up for good.
I think, how Baseball America does it. He technically is still a prospect, right. But yeah, okay. If you're taking him out of that mix, then yeah, I don't think that they have a guy that you're like, this is our guy.
Yeah, the only one
He's
I would be
untouchable.
leery of, and it's just because of positional need, and I know the Reds don't draft on that, is that Duno, the catcher
Oh, the
kid,
catcher.
Duno.
Yeah.
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 Who, future star, but we have nobody who is major league ready
Yeah.
in our system
No,
besides
we don't.
him. And he's going to be about 2 to 3 more years before he is ready to take
Right.
over.
He's still not ready, which
Right.
lines up with Stevenson's free agent. Stevenson has, I think,
He's
next
only
year before
19
he's.
years old too, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he turned 20. You could probably keep Trevino as your number one. Let him
I think you still have
mentor.
Stevenson next year, don't you?
Yeah, we do. But I'm just saying, yeah. I mean, we can get into that, in
Yeah.
our next show. We're running a little long here. I don't want to bore everybody with Reds talk, but we didn't even talk about starting pitching. Do we need to go out and get another one? Maybe.
I'd rather have a
Especially if Hunter
bullpen guy.
Green. Huh?
Well, true. If by the deadline you go, Hunter Green had another setback because our training staff, for whatever reason, loves a good setback, then yeah, maybe you do have to pivot off a bat to a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it in general. Move Martinez to the bullpen, but
Well, yeah. And here's I mean, the other arm that we totally forgot about, Brandon Williamson.
well, he's done for the year.
That's
He's
what I'm
not
saying.
pitching
I
this
mean,
year.
he's not pitching, but
Yeah.
that's another arm in next
you're right.
year rotation, right? I mean,
You're right.
we'll talk
You're
about
right.
that later.
I forgot all about him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was good for
Yeah,
us.
so
I mean,
you could
that's
throw
another
him
guy that
in on a, like a sweeten the pot type of deal to really get the guy, or, hey, we like him better than Abbott.
Well, because
get rid of Abbott.
Well, no.
No, I'm just saying though. When you look at our rotation, well, we'll talk more about this on another episode when we dive into what the Reds need to do at the end of the year here. But yeah, we need to get this rolling along here. So the last thing that we'll talk about here is if they do not make the playoffs, what needs to happen? Real quick, give me a.
So if they don't make the playoffs, it's because they didn't go out and get anybody at the deadline. They don't get anybody at the deadline. It's probably coming from ownership first, but Krall has to go. I think that's the next move. You already got rid of David Bell.
Right.
You've made some other changes in the organization. Obviously, ownership's not going anywhere. Krall's the next guy. You just, even though it would be coming from ownership that they can't go get anybody, that's just the next step you take. You need a different philosophy, different ideas. You would have to get a different guy in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably, and I mean, Krall's the president of operation. Meter is the GM now.
I want somebody brand new. Don't fire Krall and promote.
Right.
We've done that song and dance. Get somebody from outside the organization in here for new perspective.
And this is where what we talked about the philosophy earlier in the show. It's like, okay, they don't know what are they doing with their draft strategy, playing this and then not playing the guys in different positions. Go after an organization that you like and say, hey, the Tampa Bay Rays do this. They win games. Oakland A's are Moneyball, but they're worse than the Rays as far as how long it takes them to rebuild. Another small market teams, that are successful. The Brewers.
Somebody from Seattle.
Right,
Brewers,
Seattle. Yeah. Those type of teams you need to study and say, let's get somebody there. Now, they may turn us down because they're like, no, you're not going to spend the money and you're not going to pull the trigger when you need to pull the trigger, what these other teams do. Don't know. But yeah, if Krall and Meter stay, then I think the next thing is we have to seriously look at some of these prospects, the Will Bensons, the CESs, dare I say Matt McClain, Spencer Steer, and say, are these guys who we want to build around the next 3 years? And then try to get rid of them, get what you can back. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So, but if we don't make the playoffs or, we can throw the training staff under the bus and just get new
I mean, that's going to happen anyways, because, I mean,
it needs to happen, yes.
if a guy gets a blister, he's got a setback for crying out. I mean, it turns into he burned his finger off. I mean, I don't know what the training staff is doing. Lydia should apply for that position.
She should.
Goodness gracious.
Yep. All right. Well, that about wraps up the show for this week. Next week's show, we are going to possibly talk about the Reds lineup swap from 2010 to 2025. The playoff team 2010. Who are we swapping from this team with that team? Which people are we?
Think of one, maybe one for sure. Maybe
two. Maybe two.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe three, because if you go look at pictures and stuff, we'll see. But that's
Sure.
what we're going to talk about next week. So we appreciate you hanging with us for this extended version of the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Pass our channel along to all your friends who are diehard Reds and Bengals fans, and let them know that we'll be here for them with all their news and updates. So until next week, for Sam, I'm Dave. Everybody, take care.
See ya.